Okay, step two of mixing your voice down. There's one thing I forgot to show you on the first step. One is you can actually split a clip if you have the selection tool selected there. Let's say we have this part of the music. So here I have my music intro, and then I have my voice, and then I have music, and I just really don't need any of this, and I want to split this track. You can just select it, hit Control I. Notice it made a yellow line, so now it's split the track. Now I can move this out of the way for later use, or I could just hit my selection tool. So notice I had to go to the move tool to move it, the selection tool to highlight it, and then I can just delete that track, and now it's done. Okay, so I have my voice track on the top. Make this a little smaller. So there's my voice track, and here is my audio track. Because I'm working with the soundtrack more than the voice now, I'm going to zoom in and kind of expand this track. So now I have a little bit more to view looking at it. And I'm going to move my voice track a little bit here. Now I want to work on fading the track in and out. So I'm going to use something called the envelope tool. And that's right there at the top, envelope tool. So if I click that, so I'm going to select the track, see how it's highlighted yellow. Click the envelope tool. Notice it brings up these blue lines on everything. This allows me to alter the volume. So let's say I want to bring this down. So you can select any part. See how it makes a little white line when I click? I click there, click here, I click here. So these allow me to move these sections. Notice as I slide it, so I've left click and I'm holding it, it can move it smaller or larger. So I could fade this in. Notice I'm kind of bringing it in gradually by that line. So that's going to fade the music out as my voice comes in. Let's say I want to make this all kind of a lower volume when I'm talking, sort of background. Then as my voice comes out, as you can see, that's where my voice track's going to end. I can fade it up. And you can always hit rewind and listen to how it's going to sound with your voice. So I'm hearing the music, and now it's starting to fade out a little bit, and then my voice is coming in. And you can always mess with the timings. Notice after it stopped, and now I can slide this maybe and move it a little bit closer if I want to get that. You'll see the gray line shows where it is. The other option, of course, is doing the effects. So if you hit your selection tool, you can always highlight a section and hit effect, and then I could fade out. Notice it brings that smaller, or fade in. And there's a lot of effects that I haven't really played with here that you could look at for making your sound different or things like that. All right, so let's say I built my tracks, I'm finished, I've listened to it a couple times, maybe had a teacher or someone else listen to it, and I'm ready to export it and finalize it. So to finalize it, of course, I'm saving my project as I go along. So I'm ready to export it. So if I click export, oh, and the other thing is you want to make sure that you don't just have one section selected. So right now I just should have one selection. So I want to export it all. So I'm going to click File, Export, and notice it'll give me a WAV file. And I'm going to put it in libraries and something like My Music. So you should have your name there, computer. Mine is a name, but put in somewhere that you can get to another computer. So it should say My Music, not just music. But I'm going to put in music for now. And I'm going to call it Final Recording. And then I'll just click Save. And it gives me some options like artist name. This is naming the track, so I might just call it myself. And then track title, My Digital Story. If you want to give it an album title, you can get rid of some of these things. So I'm just backspacing this stuff. But it doesn't really matter. This is just what it'll look like when you get the data. Then you hit OK. Your tracks will mix down to 2 standard channels, which is good. Hit OK. And it went fast. Yours will probably take a little longer to export. So now if I click on My Music, if we go here and go to music, you're going to see it. There it is. It says Project 1, and that is, oh, that's an Audacity project file, so notice that's not the file I want. But these are files that are recording, so they're just like an MP3. You could load these onto an iPod. You could play them, so that's my final recording there. These are projects that won't work in Movie Maker, but I could keep